The Galapagos is one of those trips you've saved for years. It can cost a small fortune. So you think if you pay that much, everything should just work.
At least that's what we thought.
But standing on that ship, watching other passengers glide through their experience, while we dealt with sore feet, missed moments, and quiet regret, we realized something very uncomfortable.
You can do the Galapagos wrong. And today, we're sharing the 5 mistakes that made this once-in-a-lifetime trip harder than it needed to be, so they don't become your mistakes.
Welcome back. We love adventure travel, and we're pretty flexible, and we kind of just go with the flow.
But the Galapagos doesn't reward winging it.
It's remote, it's regulated, and once you're on the boat, there are no do-overs, no quick fixes, and no popping out to a store.
We learned, often while watching other passengers do it better, that this trip requires a very specific strategy.
So whether the Galapagos is your dream trip, your retirement splurge, or it's just quietly sitting on your bucket list, here are 5 things we wish we had done differently.
This first mistake is the reason all the others happened. We treated the trip to the Galapagos like a backup plan.
We originally wanted to go to Antarctica, and when that didn't happen, we just replaced that trip with a trip to Galapagos. Instead of spending time researching when is the best time to go to the Galapagos, we just marked it on the calendar when we were going to go to Antarctica.
What we didn't fully understand at the time is that the Galapagos changes throughout the year. Some months have calmer seas, some have stronger currents.
Some are better for snorkeling. Some are better for different types of wildlife viewing.
If we had researched this trip as the main event, as we should have, we might have chosen a different season entirely.
Treat this trip like the dream vacation that it is. Look at the calendar. Match the season to your priorities. If seasickness is an issue, avoid peak trade wind months.
I've linked our full breakdown of the 2 Galapagos seasons above. It's the research we should have done before booking.
And yes, we may actually go back to the Galapagos someday at a time that should maximize our odds of having an even better experience.
This mistake didn't hit us until we were at dinner the first night. Over and over we heard, "We had a fantastic time exploring the Amazon," or "We're headed to Peru right after this trip."
Meanwhile, after our trip, we were going to be flying home. That's when the envy set in.
Here's the reality though. Getting to South America is the hardest part and the most expensive. Once you're there, Peru and the Amazon are right there.
Instead of bundling experiences, we treated the Galapagos as a standalone trip. And now, if we want to see those places, we will have to pay for those long international flights all over again.
If you're already going to the Galapagos, you are also 90% of the way to some of the world's other greatest destinations.
Don't rush home. Look at the map and add on those additional destinations that you know you will thoroughly enjoy. You'll almost certainly be glad you did.
This one seems small until you're living it. I brought water shoes. Thin soles, slip on, perfect for the water. Or so I thought. But Galapagos days don't work like that.
You step off the Zodiac into the water, walk onto sand, and immediately go on a hike over different types of terrain every single day. Meanwhile, other passengers walk past us wearing sturdy hiking sandals, straight from the boat to the water to the trail.
This mistake certainly didn't ruin the excursion, but it annoyed us every single time.
If I could redo it, I'd skip water shoes entirely and bring high-quality hiking sandals with decent traction and toe protection. It's one of those easy decisions that can improve your entire week.
This next mistake surprised us the most.
I'm a good swimmer, active, fit, so when they were handing out the snorkeling equipment, I ignored the flotation assistance that was offered. But what I didn't realize was that snorkeling in the Galapagos was different than the other places where I'd been snorkeling.
You're often in deep, open water with currents for long stretches, and wetsuits add buoyancy but restrict movement.
I struggled getting comfortable with the equipment in the open water, and I had to climb back into the boat multiple times, missing out on several irreplaceable experiences.
Here's the lesson. Take the flotation assistance. Not because the conditions are unsafe, but because having it available to you could mean the difference between having a fantastic experience in the water or spending more time than you really want to sitting in the Zodiac.
It's better to have it and not need it than to miss out on an experience that you flew across the country for.
Our final mistake was actually two smaller ones, but one could have been disastrous. First, luggage.
We packed nearly everything into one giant checked bag, which sounds efficient until we met passengers whose luggage never arrived. If that had happened to us, we'd have been wearing the same clothes for a week. Instead, we should have divided up our belongings into two smaller bags and packed our essentials in carry-ons.
Secondly, snacks. The food on board is great, don't get me wrong, but it is scheduled. So when you've been hiking and snorkeling all day, hunger hits hard between meals.
Having a few familiar high-protein snacks in the cabin would have kept our energy and moods much more stable. Small things can make a big difference.
Bonus tip, bring cash, preferably small US bills. ATMs can be unreliable, and tipping, buying small souvenirs, snacks, all of these things are easier to purchase with cash.
Despite the sore feet, the missed moments, and the quiet envy, the Galapagos was still an incredible trip, but it could have been even better.
So if a trip to the Galapagos is on your wish list, learn from our missteps and treat your trip like the once-in-a-lifetime trip that it really should be.
And if you want more honest travel lessons we figured out the hard way, subscribe to Adventurously Unprepared so you can be better prepared than us.
Tell us in the comments, what are you most excited about or anxious about seeing in the Galapagos? Thanks for watching and see you in the next adventure. That's a wrap on that one.
Whoa! Friggin' Max. Bonus tip, bring cash. All right.
Gotta have money. It could have been even better.
If this trip is on your wish list, learn from our missteps.
Treat it like the once in a lifetime. How about that? You just get that part out, okay? And I'll finish it.
Once in a lifetime experience that it really should be.